right table, right table, and only the match records from the left table will be getting pulled. Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
that is always joins conditions and all. So what is import from file? So far, what we have seen the source as a database, right? We had seen the source as database, and we are actually importing the data, both the source system and all, like, because of time constraint or because of that, limitation of the networking systems and all, we had considered the source as RKIL, even the target table is also RKIL. Now, what do we mean by importing the file? So when you are importing from flat file, meaning, text file, because some of the organizations, they do store data in notepads only. Now, when they are going with our Excel formats, okay. Now, when they are wanted to go ahead and do what we call computerization or something, they wanted to upgrade or store the data somewhere else, then they will be going with the uh, importing those flat files. Remember, ETL will extract data from a relational database management system and a flat file or .csv file or a COBOL file, VSOM file, XML files, right? All these types of files it supports. That is the beauty of ETL tool. I mean, it could be Informatica, data stays, or whatever it is. Okay, or SSIS,
Mhm.
even SSIS packages also. They can import it from a file or a table. So far, we had seen how to import from table, right? Now, let's see how to import from file. So once we are done with the how to import from file, simply, we can just go ahead and do a join. Okay. How are we doing the join? Basically, um, from a table and from a file also. Okay. These two data,
Mhm.
it is going to be pulled into a single table. Okay. That we do call it as a heterogeneous join also. Give me a minute. In Informatica, this is known as a heterogeneous join also. You can see my screen, right? Give me a minute. Okay, this is transformations, designer types. Okay, so when we used filter, router, all these things, software. Susan and Natalie, did you get a chance to check all these things? This document I have shared with you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So mostly, Andy, like, the source systems could be flat files also. So there will be two types of flat files. One could be .txt file or one could be .dat file. Okay, data file ఉంటుంది, .txt file ఉండొచ్చు or .xls file ఉండొచ్చు or .csv file also. Okay, and there are two types of files basically. The sources, mostly the source systems that gets maintained, right? In many of the organizations, if they are maintaining the data in Notepad, Notepad++ and all, they will be having it in a .txt or .dat file. Okay, .txt or .dat files, data files and all. Or if they're maintaining it in Excel format, right? Initially, they started maintaining the customer's data in Excel. As and when eventually when the when we what eventually when the business grows, right, they wanted to maintain that customers became more and more, so in the considerable amount or something like, it's beyond manageable from Excel, they can import and store it in somewhere. Okay, so you
Mhm.
can import it from a flat file also and then store it into the target table also. So here, how is it happening? Import from a flat file and storing it. Okay, we can have two types of files in .txt or .dat also. Usually, whenever customer sends, right, the source files, you need to understand the source file format also, if it is a file format. So basically, what are all the questions we need to ask as and when we are in a project? Then, what is the source system? It is important for you to know what is the source system, which format the source system is coming. If it is coming like, in multiple ways that it might come. Some some of the source systems, because it's a collection of disparate sources, right? Some of the information can be extracted from RDBMS tables, be it could be Oracle or SQL Server, and some of the information can be extracted from .txt file or .dat file or .csv file, or even I think what I did recently, that is a JSON formats. JSON files also it will
Okay.
come. Okay, Salesforce and all. So anything data gets imported, do not worry about that. So JSON format also you can just open it in Notepad++, can be imported using the ETL tools. Okay. So now
Okay.
if it is .txt or .dat files, I said like, we have two types of files basically. What are those? One is a fixed width file and another is delimited file, we call it as. Do you have any idea, Andy? What do we mean by delimited or fixed width file? Mostly it is difficult to read fixed width files, Andy. Now they stopped using that. They will be having only the width of the file is fixed. Okay, then it has to process. So ETL will have a separate mechanism to read fixed width file. But mostly like we will be using the delimited file. Delimited file in a sense. So what are all the data that suppose say an example like employee number, employee name. Okay. I'm maintaining it in a file format. So when I'm maintaining this employee number and employee name, right? First 1, 2, 3 record. And what is the delimited character? We need to identify in the source file. It could be, a pipe symbol or a dollar symbol, caret symbol, anything. But that should be consistent across. This is nothing but a separator of the fields, anamata. Okay. Separator of the fields. Saying that, if it is an employee number, employee name, I'll say 1, 2, 3, exclamatory or pipe symbol. Usually pipe will be the delimited character and employee name is Kavita. Okay. And similarly, the second employee name number will be 345. And then pipe symbol. Okay. So the entire file will be like this. It resembles like this. Okay. In delimited file, there will be one delimited character that is used as a what we call a field separator. That can be called as a field separator, and it can be imported into the table, right? So when ETL reads, ETL tool, Informatica or something, it reads, right, the data, it understands, okay, this is particular, this field, this is this one, this is a column separator. Okay. And also we do call in real time, it is a header file and non-header file also. A delimited files could be header file or non-header file. What do we mean by header file? Suppose if I have employee number, if I have given the first name as employee number, employee name, this we do call it as a header file. Okay. And some of the files may not contain header file. They simply can contain the data only straight away. Okay. We need to assume, okay, this is employee data. They will say some of the customers, they will say it as save as, employee number and then say. But they don't know because it could be like, the one who is extracting the data is familiar with the source systems or something like that. Anything. Okay. If somewhere they are mentioning this header, right, that we do call it as a header file. Okay. This the new line you need to give. Okay. Employee number, employee name. Pipe is the delimited. Then pipe, it could be pipe, it could be tab space, anything, any field separator, we do call it as a delimiter. Fair and it? Okay. Now, let me open one of the .dat files that I have created earlier. Company.dat. I think I need to say. So here, this is what type of file? This is not the data. This is the header, right? These are all the column names. If you see, then you can figure it out. Okay, these are all the attributes of the data, right? These are all the column names: company ID, company name, address 1, address 2, city, state, and postal code. And this is basically which delimiter. This is using the tab as a delimiter. There is no special characters, right? Pipe and all. So sometimes you can use pipe also, or a tab space also, or even a single space also can be used as a delimited character. Okay. So this is your row one, record one. When it is inserting into the table, it should insert the company ID as 1234, ABC company name as ABC Inc. near petrol, address 1, address 2, city, state, something like that. It needs to postal code. It has to insert into the appropriate columns. Okay. So how do we do that? This is where that, we will be checking. So usually what will happen when the file is a source file, right? We will be opening either with the Unix system or Linux system, whatever it is the count actually. If the files are placed in, if the source systems are files, then typically we will be opening with Unix or Linux. I think recently we used something else also. Oh, yeah, but you can use only the Unix commands only. For big data, yeah, we'll be using Hadoop system, HDFS, DFS. Okay. So when
Okay.
we are going with this, what I can do, I wanted to load this data into the table, a target table, simple target table. Okay. So it's a simple functionality. I'm loading the file format into I'm converting the file into table. I'm loading the data. Here it is only 1, 2, 3, 4 records. Like, you can write down insert queries and you can load. But what if there are thousands of records? The data load should happen every day or every 2 weeks or every one, um, weekly, every week. Okay. Then we can create this Informatica workflow. You can just place this file and it gets loaded into the target table in a tabular format when we trigger that workflow. Fair indeed. But provided what is the
Okay.
prerequisite? You need to have it file also at the designated place. I'll let you know how to place. And also we need to create the target tables at the database level, right? That is more important. We will have to create the target tables also at the database level. Okay. Now, let's go and see a simple functionality. We have the source system information, okay, in Notepad++. And how can I load that data into a table? Okay, tabular format. That let's see. Okay, so create a delimited flat file with tab space, which we do have. This company.dat. I'm going to share this to you one day. Okay, I don't remember whether I have shared this or not. Okay, company.dat that contains data under the specified path. What is the most important thing here? Because I'm using only my local system, I have considered my local path. C drive, Arcle, flat file, something company.dat and all. But if you're not if you're in, a kind of working in, uh, in real-time project, it should not be the path, should not be the local drive. So there should be some designated path where the files will be available. That path could be your HDFS path for big data or some shared path, basically. Okay. You will have to do a CD command. We will see all the Unix commands later also, CD, and then go to that uh, folder and ensure that the files are available under that path. Now you may ask me who is responsible to keep those files there under the source folder path. It is the responsibility of the business analyst. Okay.
Okay.
BS will keep that file and they are going to store over there. Even the file data also they will be updating because they are the ones who literally connect with the end users, right? Analyst teams and all. They will actually keep those files over there. Where at the landing folder or the source folder. Okay. Source or landing, source folder or landing folder. Who will prepare these files also? Mostly the data BAs, business analyst, in conjunction with data architects or data engineers. Okay.
Okay.
And we minute things, but you need to make sure that this is all coming. Now, how do you import this file and then load the data? So let's see do we have like, TGT company data? So like I do have a company dat file. This file is, I'm sorry, I don't have to spoil this file. Okay. Here I'm just designating a local folder in a particular path, but ideally in real time, like they will be putting it under a what we call under a shared path. Okay. And then how do they load when they trigger that and all that stuff we'll see. So TGT company is the table that exists or not. Let's see. Okay, the data is there. Now let me truncate the data. This would have happened with the previous table. Truncate table TGT underscore company. Now the data structure is there. The table has been created, but there is no data. Okay, there is no data. So what are all the field names over here? The same field names, company ID, company name. It is a simple one-to-one mapping, simple file load. We will later see how to join a file and a table also in the joiner operation. Okay. That's the company ID, company name, address 1, address 2, city, state, postal code. What are all these attribute names are there that needs to be created. The target table needs to be created upfront. So if you see, there is a TGT underscore company that got created. How do you create that one? This company one. If you have seen my DDL scripts, in the DDL script, how to create this TGT company also, it will be there. I have sent you the DDL mock scripts, right? In that create table TGT company is also there. Okay. Once you execute that, then you can start practicing these exercises. Okay.
Okay.
Now nothing is there, and here is the data. This is the source file. Where exactly I'm placing this data? I'm placing it some file. Okay, let me launch Informatica. Okay, let me launch. So this file has to be saved under some path. Where exactly I'm saving this file? Okay, so go to C drive. I just mentioned this. It could be any path also, but it is on local machine that we are doing it. But in real time, it is on shared machine also. So in order to load that, so I'm sharing it under C drive. C drive RK flat files. Okay, let me say. Otherwise, wherever you are saving that path, you can just copy. But we need to remember that path. C drive, Oracle, flat file. So make it as company.dat file. All types is there is no dat file, all types. Okay, here it is already there, company.dat file. Okay. So the path is already there. You just copy this path. Here I have given it as copy this path. Here I have, but let me save it by safer side. I don't know, we did not open that file, right? So go
Okay.
to C drive, Arkill. There itself, I have just given in as, Arkill. Select all types. Because it is not appearing under .txt file. Now let me save it as a company.dat file. That is
Okay.
yes, it is already there. So I've saved it under there. So you just copy that path, please. Okay. What is the path that it was saved? Please copy that path, whatever it is displaying over here. That needs to be copied.
Yeah.
Okay. Somewhere copied. I'll tell you what is the need also. Can you hear me, Andy? If not, I'll just
Yeah,
raise my
Lincoln.
voice. Okay. So copy the path, how to load. So unlike, relation table, we are going to copy, import from the text file. Okay. Now connect to designer. Okay. Connect to designer power center. You know how to launch also. What are the prerequisites also? Just ensure that all the services have been started and then give them some time. Okay. Now I'm simply following these steps only. What are all there? So it is there. Source analyzer. What is your source analyzer? Is your file. So accept the path. Path is this new path. This is the path that we have copied over here. Okay. Now go to source analyzer. What do you need to import? So here, because the source system is a flat file, you cannot make an ODBC connection. If it is a table, then what are you going to do? You're going to make an ODBC connection and you're going to remember, you are going to provide that Scott and Tiger and then import the structure of the table, right? Now, the source is what? Here it is a flat file. When it is a source, it's flat file, you cannot use ODBC connection. However, we have a different mechanism to import the flat file. Okay. So how do we do that?
Okay.
Here is the steps. Import from file,
Import the
select the file and follow the wizard instructions. Okay. Let's see that.
Okay. So in designer, we have to find so get it.
Everywhere, like, when we are doing this mapping and all, we start from the power center designer only, right? Source analyzers and all. When we are importing even from table also. So go to tools.
Okay.
Source analyzer. I'm just clearing the space. I'm not deleting this. Now, as I said, go to sources. Not earlier, we did all only import from database, right? Your source is also a relational table, SRC data, SRC MP, SRC employee. Okay. All these are all source tables are also from the Arkill database. Now we are going with the file format.
Okay.
My source is a flat file, import from flat file. Okay. Now, what is the flat file? If it is not displaying by default, you just go to the path. Okay. And select that flat file, the import. Just check what is the type and all that stuff also, and then click on OK. Now, it is simply like, when we are importing something into Excel, how it asks, it will ask. So whether the file is a delimited file or fixed width file, what we have actually discussed. Our source file is what? Delimited or fixed width? We are using the tab space as a field separator, right? Then it is a delimited file, right? It is a delimited. Fixed files in the sense there will not be any spaces or column separators. The entire file will be in a fixed width, and what are all the characters are there, it is going to read those characters, will put in a kind of memo field string. Okay.
Okay.
So we stopped using fixed width long back, I think. So this is a delimited file, correct? Right. And then here is the important thing. Start imported row one. What is row one? If it is is it a header file or non-header file? Company.dat. First of all, it is a delimited file. What is the
Header.
delimited character? Yeah, it is a tab space and it is a header file because it consists. Then when it is a header file, you will have to ignore the first row to import the data. Okay, check this checkbox.
What field names in first name? Okay.
Import field names from
We
the
don't
first.
need that one, is it?
No, because that is already the table structure has been created, right? In the PGT company, we have seen. I showed you.
Okay, we have already table structure, so it's not.
This is a header file. Then I wanted to the data, actual data presents from row number 2 itself, right? So import field names from first line, meaning it will not import the header. Okay, it will not
Okay.
consider the header and it is going to import. So we need to check this checkbox. Okay, this is one of the key things. And now click on next. Now what is the delimited? It is a tab space. It is not comma or it is not anything. It is a tab space. So something like this it will come. Field 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8, 9, 1 and all. Okay. So all these things have been documented over here. Select the follow the wizard instruction. To import the field names from the text files, check import file names from the first option. Else field names would be displayed as field 1, field 2, field 3. If you are not checking that, checkbox, right? So this data will get inserted into the company ID will get inserted into the first row as a data, right? So
Okay.
that time it will fail. Now click on next. What is that? Next, finish. That's it. Okay, if you see, so this is going to map into these particular columns. Source definition, company ID, company name, address one, state, blah, blah, blah. It can be the file also. Okay. Now it just got imported because it is already there. It is asking. Now where will it get import? Source files. If at all it is a relational database system, we have created ODBC and all the database tables got imported over here, right? When we did the source imports, SRC. Now, because it is a flat file, under sources, it creates one more folder like flat file and it gets imported over there. Okay, this company. It gets created automatically. Okay, this is your source system. Perfect. Now, what do I need to do the mapping? Your source was imported, then you will have to import the target, right? Now go to tools, target designer. Okay, go to targets, import from database because the target is a database only. So I'm using ODBC connection over here that was already created and my password also. Click on connect. Okay. So source you are importing from the flat file, whereas target you are importing from the target table only. Okay.
Okay. Database.
Database, yeah. That is the RDBMS system. Okay. What is the target table? TGT underscore company. We just created the data. Now click on OK. See, look at the beauty of Informatica. We do not have tabular formats, but when we import, so company ID, company name, did we assign in the flat files? Did we assign any data types to the data? No, right?
Okay.
When we are creating
No.
the data, ideally, we do this. Okay, I have imported the target table. Now, what do you need to do? Go to tools, mapping designer. Okay. Mapping designer, go to tools, mapping designer. Create a simple mapping. It's because this is how the staging tables will be extracted, source to stage. It's simple one-to-one.
Okay.
This will not be this much little size, but there will be bigger and multiple sources also, right? So they will do all
Okay.
these things in the staging. Okay. Go to mappings, create new mapping, import flat file. Now, what is your source? Is your company from the flat file. See, as and when you imported even the file also, Informatica automatically assigned the attribute names, the first row as attributes. It read already the data, source field data, when you are actually, made a connection and all in the sources when you imported, and assigned the data types based on the data, the generic data types. The company name is string, address 1 is string, address 2 is string, city is string, state is string, and postal code is decimal. You can change at your convenient time, but this is how by default the system process this data. Okay. So we did not assign any data types when we are storing them in the flat file. When we are storing them in flat file, we did not assign them any data types. But as and when you import, right? So this is going to